What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of Manji TV. Today we have this M240i sleeper build in for some Nostrum, 33% larger injectors. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the coil packs off our main fuel rail here and get our wiring harness out of the way and get this main fuel rail for the injectors out. Quick look at the car, quick look at the injectors. Here's the part number right here. Brand new Nostrum injectors. I'm pretty sure these things, they just drill out the tips just slightly larger to get the extra flow. Take one out of the bag here. I'll show you guys. It looks just like an original injector. Nothing really different about it. You got your little 6 tips or however many are, 6 holes at the tip, however many are there. They've blacked out all of the part numbers and everything, just to show that that's their part number that they want you to look at. And they've also put their badging on there, laser etched. So other than knowing they're larger, looking at them first glance, you would never know. So it's another nice sleeper mod for this car, which when you look at it, you would never even know this car's got an upgraded turbo or port injection or really anything like that at all. Car even has a stock charge pipe. It does have the Ross Racing PCV, which is super nice, but the real fun is down in there. Got a Pure 800 turbo, and she's a ripper. So let's go ahead and get these Nostrum injectors in so we can get this car retuned and get it ripping. All right guys, we have all the original injectors here. I labeled them for the customer in case he wants to put them back. He knows exactly where they came from. So we're gonna go ahead, now that we've removed the E8s holding them in, we're gonna remove these E6s holding the injectors to the actual fuel rail. There is this little clear dust boot. Make sure to save those. You're gonna reuse those. So, and pay attention to the orientation of the injector. The connectors are facing towards the front of the car. So we're gonna go ahead and remove all these injectors and put the Nostrums in. Here's a better look at the cylinder head and what we had to remove. So we were able to keep, with the storage pump, we were able to keep the high pressure line connected. We did remove the coil packs just to gain a little more access to pulling the fuel rail up. We obviously took off the high pressure line from the high pressure pump to the high pressure fuel rail, and then we were able to pull the 4 bolts that hold it down out of each fuel rail and gently pry on the fuel rails to get them up. So now that they're out, we're gonna go get those Nostrums installed. Super excited to see how these run. All right guys, we've removed our injectors, we've removed our little dust seals, we've set everything to the side, left all our hardware here. We're gonna go ahead and get our new Nostrum injectors installed on the fuel rail. We'll show you what that looks like now. All right guys, so we got our new Nostrum injectors here. We're gonna go ahead and get these installed. So we're gonna take our little dust boots, we're gonna slide them over. There's a little flat side, one side keys on there. We're just gonna leave these injectors slightly loose so that when we install them in the car, they can fully seat happily as they should. So we want to leave them able to just pivot a little bit so they can seat very happily. All right guys, we have the second set of Nostrums here on the fuel rail ready to be installed. The first set's already been installed, so I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys up here so you can see. Very simple. We've left the injectors loose a little bit so that we can line them up to the little pinholes and basically make sure that they get nice and centered in the holes. So here we go, we're just gonna lower them down. We've put a little bit of oil on the tips so that they seat very nicely. Go ahead and kind of jiggle the fuel rail, make sure that everything's seating as it should. Grab our bolts, we'll thread in our bolts. These torque to 5 Newton meters. Get these bad boys down, and you wanna work from the middle outward, so you do the 2 middle ones and then the outside ones and then back to the middle and then back to the outsides. We're gonna torque these bad boys down to 5 Newton meters. And that's that. Now once we've done that, we've got to still torque all our injector small bolts. These are gonna be 2 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. All right guys, everything is back together. We've tightened our little harness hold down bolts to 8 Newton meters. The main fuel rail bolts are 5 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. The smaller fuel rail bolts are also 5 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. You want to go a quarter turn at a time back and forth between the two bolts that hold the injectors on and make sure that it tightens down evenly. We've gone ahead and done that. You tighten your fuel rail to 30 Newton meters. We've gone ahead and done that. Our coil packs are also tightened down to 8 Newton meters, and all of our harnesses are clipped in for our high pressure fuel sensor. Our injectors and our coil packs are all plugged in. Everything is as it was when we found it. We're gonna go ahead and do the first start, but overall, very easy install. We're obviously excited to see how it runs, idles, and everything else. But yeah, I mean, this is the gist of it. We were able to do this without removing the brace and the cover back here. We also were able to do it without removing the high pressure fuel pump and high pressure line. That is with the Dorch. Those of you running a standard pump may be different. You will have to advise on that since we don't have one here. But from what I did, it probably took about 30 minutes or so to do this front to back, and you could probably do it a lot quicker even if you were really, you know, moving, but I was being nice and clean and organized with everything. I did make sure to vacuum out the injector bores when I had the fuel rails out because there was a lot of dirt in there, so that's something you're gonna wanna do is clean those out. And like I said, I did lubricate the O-rings on the new tip of the injectors as well beforehand. But let's go ahead and put the battery on and get this bad boy fired up. Your battery terminal nice and seated. This doesn't have to be super tight, but just a little snug. There we go. Let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up. All right, guys, we're flashing a custom tune here with MHD. This car was originally on boot mod and we just switched over to MHD. So this is gonna be the first time flashing with MHD. We have not done the first startup yet. We'll show you what that sounds like here in a bit. Once we get this car flashed, we're gonna probably take it for a test drive too, and we'll get you some feedback on how she runs, idles. We won't be able to make any really heavy load pulls because it is a base map. We're gonna need to get some revisions, but yeah, we'll get you an update down the road once we get this thing dialed. All right, guys, so we're about to do the first start on our Nostrum 33% stage 1 larger injector. So let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up. First start's gonna be a little bit rough as you build pressure again into your high pressure system. So don't worry about that little bit of rough idle off the start. Everything sounds great. We have no fuel leaks coming from our high pressure fuel line or our low pressure side, as well as no fuel squirting out of our injectors, so that's good. Motor actually sounds really smooth. It sounds like it did originally. How's it feel? No vibrations, no shakes? Yeah, she's smooth. Sounds good, idling good. Sweet. No lights on the dash. You got a nice smooth idle. Perfect, beautiful. All right, guys, so we're about to take the car for its first maiden voyage. I didn't end up taking out the plastic panels, but you do not need to. The only thing you may want to take out is this trim piece here to give you a little bit more room to the coil packs and the last bolt there on the high pressure fuel line. So we're gonna go ahead and shut the hood. We've got everything out of here, everything ready to go. We're gonna bring this car down off the lift and take it for a test drive. All right, guys, we're in the car. Everything's looking good. As he was backing out, we had a few little kind of almost misfires or stutters. I think it's just the car learning the new injectors, but so far so smooth. Feels smooth right now. RPMs are climbing, super smooth. How's it feel?
Good.
Good.
Feels normal. Yeah.
Huh? So far so good. Feels like stock injectors. That's what we want. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do any pulls. We have to do a baseline data log of 2,500 to 4,000 RPM. And so once we get that done, we'll be able to actually maybe make a pull on the next map. But for now, just break in, idle, relearn the adaptations. Hit it. All right, guys, we're gonna get a little, not flyby, but just outside clip of the car, the sound. Oh, this thing sounds so good on decel. Oh yeah, that decel. Woo! That's a wrap, boys. She's good. We'll make sure to get some extended, you know, drivability testing and stuff like that done and get you guys some results on how it does. But no codes, no lights, running smooth, just the way we like it. All Alright guys, so I'm just adding some settings here, but none of this matters for driving. We're gonna do our base map log right now. Alright, let's go. Just click up. So we gotta do 4th gear, 2500 to 4000 RPM. Starting log, go. That was good.
If you like this video, be sure to check out the next one, and if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It helps a lot. Thanks, and see you in the next one.